You may think the prosecutor has to prove exactly what your BAC was when you were driving, but in Indiana, the law gives them a shortcut because their jobs aren't hard enough, right? Pretty easy being a prosecutor. I'm Marc Lopez, and that shortcut is what lawyers call the statutory presumption. And here is why it matters. The police usually do not test you at the exact second you stop driving. Time passes. There may be questions, field sobriety tests, transport, paperwork, and then the chemical test, breath or blood. So the state has a problem. How do they connect a later blood alcohol content test back to the earlier moment when you're actually driving? Well, Indiana gives them a shortcut that allows them to do exactly that. In Indiana, if the state gets a qualifying chemical test within 3 hours of the time of operation, the law lets the fact finder, that's the judge or jury, presume that the blood alcohol content at the time of driving was the same prohibited level shown by that later test. So the later test, as long as it's within the 3 hours of operation, they get to assume that the test number was the same at the time of driving. It's a legal shortcut, kind of ridiculous. It's a legal lie, really. And that is a huge advantage for the prosecution because it means they do not always have to build that timeline from scratch. The law helps build it for them. And that is exactly why timing matters in a DUI defense. At the Marc Lopez law firm, we do not just look at the final number and give up. We look at the timeline. We ask when the probable cause began and when the test was actually administered, whether the state's timeline makes sense, and whether there are gaps that weaken that shortcut, because that shortcut is under attack. And the trier of fact, judge or the jury, can disregard that shortcut. Other evidence shows that shortcut may not be right. Timing in a DUI case matters, and it can get complicated fast, especially if there's a crash, an officer did not see the actual driving, someone's sleeping. There are all sorts of ways timing in a DUI case matters, and we are skilled at finding the discrepancies in that time. If you or a loved one are facing a DUI charge in the great state of Indiana, give me and my team a call here at the Marc Lopez Law Firm. We will love to talk about your options. Most important, remember to always plead the fifth.